Hello.
Oh, here we are. There we are. Everything is fine.
I thought I was
There's no
getting
problem.
Kulain, but I'm surprised.
No, it's me. Kulain says his internet is. Excuse me.
That's fine. That's fine. Just let me
Not so hot.
update the layout
Huh.
here.
Sorry, last minute change for you.
That's okay.
Looks like these guys are getting started though.
Yep. And we are off to the races. Backside of Saria right off the bat here. Ryan ducks into what looks to be Death Mountain. And he's going to take a peek. Interesting early call there. For whoa, and it pays off.
Yeah, nothing wrong with taking a quick look, I don't think.
Surprise, surprise, Ryan able to pick up the Hammer Cave nice and early here. And this could be a big play in the first 30 seconds of the match here.
Right. Meanwhile, SleepyMario's looking for other caves, other towns.
And Sleepy Mario does find P-Bag Cave here.
Let's see what he gets. Attack 2 over on Ryan's side. Well, you can't complain about picking up a heart container.
Maybe not the number one thing you want to see early, but it definitely doesn't hurt.
No. You're looking for raft gloves, things like that, but you can't complain about more health either.
Oh my goodness.
And speaking of the glove,
Who'd have thought?
it's a very nice pickup for Ryan. It will open up some palaces for him, potentially.
That is a huge first item for Ryan there. That little excursion to Death Mountain paying huge dividends, and he's going to look to be in pretty good shape.
Oh, he was thinking about Magic too, but no.
And Ryan's going to pick up the heart container in P-Bag Cave here. Mario hasn't been able to find anything else quite yet, but here we have Grass Tile, which does net the trophy.
And we've seen in a lot of races recently a lot of very useful spells being blocked behind those items, so that's a nice pickup.
Yep, that's been a common theme of these races. You got the one spell blocked behind some item that's really hard to get. And already we have a pretty trolly glove location, but Ryan able to figure that one out nice and quick.
Yeah, let's hope that Sleepy Mario goes back that way sooner rather than later.
Got a 1-2-2 on the side of Sleepy Mario here as Ryan's about to pick up the trophy.
Yeah, it looks like he's content to just take levels as they come for now.
Yeah, early on that's not a bad idea. It's like you can either... I think the more common thing is a lot of people either stop at Magic 2 Life 3 or Magic 3 Life 4, depending on really how the seed plays out. Like if you're casting Fairy everywhere, then you want Magic 3 probably. But otherwise, Magic 2, Life 3, usually around the same experience level, you can get over that hump easily in Palaces and just gem your way up to high levels. So looking at their previous matches, looks like Ryin7 dropped his match to Zarnax by a very small margin. Couple of less than a minute by the looks of it, and Sleepy Mario looking here. Looks like he struggled a bit against Scorpion Max, but looking for the redemption run here. Unfortunately, going to take an early game over though. That's okay.
Yeah, having a bit of trouble with the random encounters there.
There can be some nasty random encounters, even without mixed large and small enemies on. You get, 35,000 projectiles flying at your face, and it can be bad news. SleepyMario finding the town of Rudo, meanwhile Ryan picking up the spell out of Raru. Our first spell of the game is Fairy.
Cool, expensive too, 115 for Fairy.
That's hopefully that'll drop at Magic 2 and Magic 3, so it'll be castable.
And the life spell over on Mario's side.
Oh, Mario cashed in that trophy early. Nothing wrong with that. And life. Oh wow, look at all those palaces all right next to each other. We've got GP. I missed what the first one was. And that's Palace 1.
I didn't catch what that first palace was either.
So Ryan actually electing to skip past Palace 1. I guess he figures, Fairy I can't cast because it costs 5 million, so I'll go back there later.
There's nothing particularly wrong with that. You have to go back there later anyway. For the other palace.
That's very true. It's really nice to have them all kind of clustered up like that, so you could go fully complete the east and then come back and have a nice little quick 3 palaces to knock out. Oh man, that encounter just Dairas for days. And Ryan struggling against this red Daira here. I believe that was in Heart Container Cave, so unfortunate death for Ryan there. And
it's a tough place. It's a tough placement there with the axes coming at you. You can't quite squeeze through.
Yeah, red Dairas can be a real big pain early on. And Ryan finds Ruto here. He'll cash in the trophy for the life spell. Got Trophy Cave on Mario's side here.
And it is a magic jar. That'll be helpful to eventually be able to cast Fairy, hopefully.
And that's 1 jar to the good for the new Casino lady. So I know yesterday we saw items in New Casuto blocked a lot. I think it was Glove 3 races in a row was behind the New Casuto old lady. So not this time. Sorry.
There are useful items there for sure from time to time. You want to be able to pick it up on your first trip. So the chat is saying that Fairy has in fact gone down at level 2 to 113.
Yes, very economical, that Fairy.
It's not going to make a huge difference.
And meanwhile, we've got SleepyMario going through Jump Cave. I'm not sure he recognizes that this is specifically Jump Cave. He's going to be a little bit disappointed when he finally trudges his way through here. And I haven't been paying too much attention to the overworld, but it looks like it might be a Fairy over Saria seed or something along the lines. Or maybe Fairy up Jump Cave.
I was just going to say that these pass-through caves have been useful in a few seeds for sure. Not quite yet. We won't be able to find out. I also haven't been paying super attention to the overworld layout here. But we have found our 3 palaces already, so.
We've also found a certain riverman. So
someone.
We'll be able to traverse Saria and see the other side. Pull the spell out of there and probably hit this, get past this upper block here, the second half of the continent to the north. We got Ryan jumping in Trophy Cave here. He's gonna pick up the magic container.
SleepyMario still saying no to Death Mountain.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate when we know that the cave is right there and it has the glove in it. But I mean, hindsight's 20/20.
Right. Even still, I don't think it's a bad idea to just look at a couple of caves that are nearby just in case.
Yeah, Ryan definitely clearly displaying that that's a good idea. I don't think SleepyMario has found Rauru yet to get the fairy spell, whereas Ryan did come across it.
No, he doesn't have fairy, yeah, it's true. But we are going to see what's on the other side of Saria here.
And for the first time in restreaming, I remembered to mark the candle in the first 15 minutes. We did it. Did Ryan just walk past the mirror?
I believe he did, yes. No, he's realized now.
Whoops. Oh, so the upper half wasn't blocked, and Mario just walks on over, so maybe Bagu isn't required.
And we have found, 106 for fire, so we're not going to find out what that does for quite a while.
Yeah, spell costs in this seed not playing nice. And we do have fire, which could be tied to something nice, but as you mentioned, we won't know for a while.
And it looks like we have a medicine cave on Ryan's side, so we'll get to see another item here, hopefully.
So we have 1, 2, and Great Palace. And was that the cross on Ryan's side?
It was the cross, yes. I mean, it's a nice item. It's not necessarily what you're looking for, but can be helpful. So I didn't catch that. SleepyMario left too. Was he blocked?
He just took a peek and then turned around immediately.
Okay. Well, there's nothing wrong with that either. Looks like he will dive into one.
And immediately met with a blue iron knuckle. And Magic 3 Fairy finally drops.
Looks like he's going to say no to Palace 1 as well. You have to do something at some point, though.
Well, he's still got a couple of caves to find. They both do. And Raft is chilling somewhere.
That's true. Well, Sleepy Mario selects Fairy, hoping to get the down stab. I don't think it's going to work out for him, though.
Yep.
Nope.
Ryan finding the other side of Death Mountain, the other side of Jump Cave up here. Not really sure. Let's see. We've seen P-Bag Cave, we've seen Medicine Cave, we've seen Trophy Cave. We're still missing Magic Container Cave, Heart Container Cave. Wait. Yeah, I was gonna say, we haven't seen that one yet. Go back, Ryan. Alright. Picking up some medicine.
Again, it could be useful. Depends what spell we have in Mido.
Yeah, and there's Heart Container Cave, so I think that's all of them, if I'm not mistaken. So
I believe so.
Ryan really wants to see Raft here, otherwise he's gonna have to dig through 1 and 2. Which, I mean, of all the palaces you have to dig early, those are the easiest, so it's not the end of the world. Oh, or that. That's also a thing.
Yeah. I don't think we've seen any hammer blocks so far, but there is an item in Death Mountain that you can pick up with that for sure.
And that might actually work against Ryan's favor with his early glove pickup. If the hammer is indeed blocking Raft, then it's gonna be easy for Sleepy Mario to be like, oh yeah, I got this hammer, I need to go to Death Mountain. And then he'll probably be like, oh, what's in here? And then he'll get the glove, so... probably gonna work in Sleepy Mario's favor ultimately, but we'll see if Ryan elects to dig up that Death Mountain item or go into 1 or 2 first.
And meanwhile, Mario going back for the down stab now with Magic 3. Fairy is castable.
I think Ryan wants to cash in that medicine before he does anything else here.
Right, the other spells he's looking for, Reflect and Thunder. They're maybe not so useful right away, but for sure you wanna know where those are.
It looked like did Ryan cast fire there to see what it was?
I did not see.
I think he tried, and then it was either life or reflect, because I didn't see him jumping very high. I didn't see shield activate, and I didn't see enemies die or turn to bots. So it's possible reflect tied to fire here.
Well, if so, that's useful, because that's one more spell that you don't necessarily have to get, although fire is very expensive at the moment. So we are going to find out right now what the medicine gives you. Unfortunately, it's just shield. Does have some use, but not what he was looking for sure.
But even then, having 2 of the spell-required items out of the way early is pretty comforting, all things considered.
Yeah. Just increasing the chances for the free spells later on to be exactly what you're looking for.
Alright, and the runner's gonna high five in this town here.
Looks like Ryan has a better sense of the overworld than I do. I'm not sure why he's going back through this town, but maybe the palaces are on the other side.
I think, so in order to get north he had to go through that nasty bridge encounter with the fish, and I think
Yeah.
he'd rather just go through Saria instead.
Well, that's fair.
So Mario picking up fire here. Still has one cave left to find that yields the cross, and then we still don't know where Raft is. It could be on Death Mountain. Oh no, sorry. Mario has 2 caves. He also doesn't have the hammer yet. So Ryan has a little bit of an exploration advantage right now. And he's going to dip into 1 before going to Death Mountain. I can't blame him for that.
No, 1 is pretty small. With Fairy Castable, you're probably not going to run into key problems here. Even with 1 cast per life.
Red Iron Knuckle 1, Ryan 0. Happens to me all the time. And we got the shield pickup for SleepyMario, so both runners have all 4 spells from the west in their inventory.
The way the seed is shaping up, they're not finding the items they want, but there's not really a lot left on the west that they're going to have to come back for later.
That's very true. Really, the only thing you'd have to come back for at this point would be obviously the glove for SleepyMario, but the kid would be the only thing blocking anything at this point. And obviously we still need to find that raft.
Right. We can't think about not coming back to the west until we can actually leave.
Very true. Ryan finding an unfortunate dead end here. Looks like he's gonna try and get the level before he up and A's out of here. And gets a jar for his trouble. That's a bummer. And final enemy, not gonna bail him out either. So he's just gonna have to walk out of here. Tell you what, those jars are dropping rather frequently here. That's one of the things Digshake pointed out a while back that's commonly overlooked. Is one of the things that the randomizer shuffles is the frequency of item drops. And if you notice in situations like these where, you know, enemies are dropping jars and pea bags often, you can kind of use that to your advantage if you're stuck in a sticky situation.
Well, if the jars are dropping more frequently, it will help to keep our runners alive through these palaces. And with the enemy layout we've seen so far, with lots of iron knuckles and magos everywhere, it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yep, I certainly wouldn't be complaining unless I was grinding for experience, like Ryan was. Got the cross pickup for Mario. I'm sure he's not happy about that one. He's got 1 cave left to find that has the hammer in it, and then maybe we might see him go to Death Mountain.
I mean, with the hammer in hand, why not? You know, you can get both items. It can be fast sometimes.
I think Ryan, did he just cast fire again there? I'm not sure if that was fire or shield. But I'm fairly certain fire is tied to reflect at this point, which is a good thing if you're one of these runners, because that's just one less spell you have to find. Mario also struggling with this red Dyra that Ryan ran into trouble with. hopefully he's going to be able to get past him here. And not take an axe to the back of the head. He can take a couple. It'll be good through here, though. Always nice to have shield and life at your disposal.
Yep. And if this is his last cave, he doesn't even have to face him on the way out. Or maybe he does. Maybe he's close to something.
Oh, he's going mano a mano.
Maybe he's just looking for the experience here.
At 150 is nothing to scoff at there.
Well, he's deciding what he wants to do as it pops into Palace 2 there for a second. Or was that one? No,
that was also
one.
one. They had to. It looks like the colors are just vastly different. And Ryan's got the item room here, but he's gonna have to deal with this blue iron knuckle before he can make it in. And only a heart container in one. So that means Raft is either underneath the boulder on Death Mountain or it's in Palace 2. The only two locations left.
Oh, I see what he's doing here. He's trying to get the level up before he up A's. Oh, he's gonna go all the way to attack here.
He did have a pea bag sitting in front of him, so I can't really blame him for that one. And Horsehead here for Ryan. You know, I meant to look up the official name of Horsehead and also Helmet Head. I'm gonna do that right now.
I believe it is Horsehead and Helmet Head, so...
Yeah. Mazura is apparently Horsehead's name.
Really?
Apparently. And Helmet Head is Jerma Fencer.
Interesting.
Who knew? Not me.
I didn't, that's for sure.
So SleepyMario got his attack level. He's going to duck into Palace 1 as Ryan is exiting the same palace. So going to be met with a little bit of disappointment as Ryan is going to probably duck into Palace 2 right here. Why not? Knock it out. Look for the item. If it's not there, then you've only got one more place to check.
And it looks like he's decided to take the life level despite having enough for Magic 4 and then up an A. So I guess that makes sense so that it's still easy enough to get past the experience hump to get the crystal bonuses.
Yeah, and immediately Ryan is met with a glove block, but surprise, he has the glove. And that's one thing that could come into play here. If Mario goes into 2 without the glove, then he might think something's blocked when he really has the capability of getting to it. But we're not at that point yet, though, so it's only a theory.
Well, if the raft is in fact in Death Mountain, that might actually help SleepyMario in the long term, because that'll push him towards Death Mountain.
That's very true. Ryan, not gonna step around and see what the drippers are. Come on, buddy.
We have seen big things from those drippers. I've seen 300-point blue iron knuckles come out of those things.
Yeah. Sounds a little familiar. Nice convenient red jar drop there for Ryan, and he's able to dodge the Moggle at the same time, so... We'll have another fairy cast to get through some doors here. And it's really looking like a lot of this palace is behind this glove block here, so if Mario does jump in here, he's not going to have too much to work with, but it's all possible this is all dead ends too. And there's one right there. Both runners finding dead ends in their respective palaces. This room looks a little familiar. We got Christmas rooms. And
So it looks like these runners are both taking the same route, level up wise.
I think Ryan's gonna stop at Magic 3 Life 4. I'm not sure if Mario is just gonna keep leveling whenever he can, or if he'll also take the same strategy. We do have the item room for Ryan here. He's a red iron knuckle away from the raft.
So with that fine for Ryan, whatever is under the Magos from the Dripper, looks like whatever is going to be under the rock in Death Mountain is going to remain a mystery.
More than likely. And 200 point Magos from the Dripper. Come on. They die in one hit. You know what to do, Ryan. You know what to do. Oh, he's not going to do it. Dig Shake would be proud. So we also know now that Mario has to go back to Death Mountain at some point to get the glove in order to get through the block to get to the raft. So it'll just be a matter of, does Mario choose to go to Death Mountain first, or does he run into all the problems in 2? And it looks like you're going to be able to get to Germa Fencer without the glove, but not the item.
Yeah, that could cause some problems if he does decide to go to 2 first.
Yeah, Mario finding the bad news in 1. It's only a heart container. And man, a lot of blue iron knuckles in both of these palaces early on. And Sleepy Mario coming up on Horsehead here. He's just gonna bounce off his head over and over again. I like it. Little pogo stick action.
Well, it looks like it's a pretty safe way to approach the fight.
Oh, nothing wrong with that. Ryan picking up some quick levels only to be met by a dead end. So he's got a choice to make. He can either grind out that attack level or take this magic level and up A.
And he opts for option 2 there.
So Sleepy Mario actually decided to completely exit Palace 1, and it's looking like he might be headed for Death Mountain, but I'm not entirely sure he remembers where it's at. Maybe he does.
Well, for his sake, let's hope that's where he's going to, because it will save him a lot of headaches inside of 2.
It sure will, and it's looking like everything is behind the glove block in 2, not just the item. So it won't take him long to figure out he's glove blocked in 2 if that's where he decides to go. So small victories, I suppose. But he's not headed towards 2, and he up an 8 outside of 2, so I would assume he's headed for Death Mountain. And yeah, there he goes. And cave number 2 is Hammer Cave.
And we could indeed see the boulder as well there on the right side of the screen. I'm not sure it's accessible from here. He might have to go through a cave, but we at least know where it is.
Yeah, and not having the raft, I would expect him to dig that out. Even though we know the raft is in 2, you know, there's only so many places it can be left over. And Ryan giving us a pretty good display of Palace 2 here. Helmet and head not in the good location.
And by the end of it, I think we did get to see all of Palace 2.
What's the best thing Ryan could find, or SleepyMario could find in Spectacle Rock? I'm gonna say it's probably the magic key. Boots would also be a very nice pickup.
And both of them not necessarily required, but very useful for mobility and keeping your magic for life and shield rather than fairy.
So SleepyMario going through Hammer Cave finds an item he wasn't expecting, but I'm sure he's happy about it.
And he is indeed not going to opt to look for the boulder as well. Or maybe he will. He's going north again.
Yeah, I think he will. He just wanted to get out of Hammer Cave without taking the long walk out, I think.
That's fair enough. The entrance isn't too far from North Palace.
Or maybe, I'm not sure where he's going. And Ryan looking for the raft tile. He's going to be heading east. He's got nothing left to do over here outside of Spectacle Rock, so we're about to get our first taste of the Eastern Continent here, and should be interesting to see what we have in store. A beach. Some dead people.
I guess SleepyMario was thinking the same thing. He's gonna go over to the east. No? No, still not sure here. No jump spell for Ryan means that whatever that item is, we won't find out for a while.
He's going to 2 by the looks of it. And that is going to be the right play as far as we know. So a good decision from SleepyMario here. Ryan's going to find a pea bag cave here.
Oh, that's right. He didn't have the raft. I was ahead of myself there.
So really Mario kind of dodged a bullet and didn't go into 2 early, and he's going to find this early glove block and just able to plow right through it just like Ryan did. And oh, 2D flute!
Well, it's not often that you need it, but it still could be useful if as a shortcut, possibly.
Yeah, there have definitely been times when it comes in handy for sure. That River Devil can be in really inconvenient spots sometimes. But it's been a very long time since we've seen it actually be a required item. might be coming in handy right now, actually. Look at that.
Well, if there is another way around, this definitely doesn't look like a bad way to go.
Yep, that's probably one of the best uses of the flute I've seen in a good while.
What town do we have here? It is Firetown.
And Ryan really wants to see thunder here, assuming fire is indeed tied to reflect. Well, you win some, you lose some.
But we have also seen some very useful items in behind the spell building at the end of New Kasuto.
That's very true. And the more Ryan exhausts his remaining spell locations, the more that kid might be required, so we'll see.
Looks like he's going to take a little looky-loo at this palace, see what he's dealing with.
Yeah, Palace and Maze Island right next to each other. Got a lot to work with here. This is Palace 5. He's gonna say, the heck with that. Maybe Ryan hasn't cast fire yet. His sword beams are fire. That's what's throwing me off.
Nope. Right on the way to the palace, we found a pea bag.
Womp womp. And we've got either 3 or 6 here. Looks like Ryan's going to pull the items out of Maze Island, or the other item out of Maze Island first before he decides to duck in there. And Palace 2 giving Mario a run for his money over there, but he is in the item room. He might have died for magic, actually. Nope. Boom.
Well, he is happy to get that.
Nope.
Meanwhile, Ryan stumbled upon the other cave.
Ho ho, man.
That's probably one of the better items that you're looking for. Still at this
Absolutely.
point. Yep.
So really, at this point, Ryan doesn't have anything to worry about going through palaces. He's got magic key, he's got glove. He's just got to get through them.
Yep. And he's... I would still dig if I was in his position, because you need the kid potentially still.
And palaces where the item rooms are on the right, I feel like if you come across them, you might as well grab it. But it's not something I would go out of my way for at this point if I were Ryan.
That's fair.
Because he still has 2 free spells in both New and Old Kasuto left to find.
Right, and I suppose you can always just come back later if you have to.
Yep. And I think if fire isn't tied to reflect, then I'm digging 100%.
Yeah, I'm still not sure about that. I don't know that he's casted fire. I haven't noticed. Or SleepyMario for that matter.
Ooh.
Oh,
Man, Ryan making quick work of Palace 3 here. He's gonna track right to Rebanak here.
so with that big long dead end in 2 for Ryan, it might have actually pushed him into just taking levels as they come here.
It does seem like it a little bit. Mario's gonna find another dead end. I wonder. I think it's one he's actually seen before. I wonder if he's a little bit lost. And Rebo down for Ryan here, so he's gonna enjoy a 2-gem lead for the time being.
Yeah, SleepyMario having all sorts of trouble here in 2. Spent a long time in there.
And looking like Ryan's either gonna turn around for the experience or for the item or both.
I can't blame him too much on the experience. All of the levels actually cost pretty close to the same amount. So if he wants to get back on track for leveling attack on the gems, he's gotta do it.
Oh, nice convenient P-bag drop. Finally, Mario finding helmet hair here. Germafencer. It's just fun to say. Germafencer.
Kind of a long palace too for both players here.
Yep. Well, only 70 from the blue iron knuckle, so
Whew. No upstab. Can't take out the Moa that way.
Palace 2 down for Mario. And here's the item room for Ryan, right as he's about to get his level too, so that's gonna work out really nicely. Oh boy. He got
Doesn't even give. Yeah. That's too bad. That is too bad.
He got dig shook. And he does walk past Palace 5. He's perfectly capable of doing it right now, but elects to do it later, and that's a long ways to go just to get back to Palace 5. But he does find a town there. Let's see if it's new or old Kasuto.
Well, if he happens to find the spells he needs right now, then that's very useful for 5. You don't even have to look for the item.
Oh, there it is. And there's Valley of Death on Ryan's screen as well. And we know GP is in the west, so this Valley of Death has to contain either 4 or 6, I think, at this point.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Ryan
Leaves
finds
Darunia.
Darunia. He's got nothing to do in there except upstab. And he probably wants to wait until he has the kid in order to waste the time to get that, so...
It's possible that upstab could be required, I think, inside of Great Palace, but
Yeah,
don't-
you
don't
have to
see
get
that too often.
real creative if you want to get out of that room. I've heard people say it is, and I've heard people say it isn't, but I've never seen a scenario where somebody didn't have it and was able to get through. And we got dueling P-bag caves on both streams here. Separate caves. Ryan gets a jar, Mario gets the flute. Yeah, really the only two items we haven't seen are the boots and the kid. So we got a lot of whammies left, and we've got a lot of container upgrades left.
Yeah, you can't be too displeased with containers at this point, I don't think. And there's new Kasuto. So we'll see what this spell is, whether we need the kit or not.
Old lady's happy. She's got at least 6 jars. It might be 5, it might be 6. We're not sure. And a nice little pea bag. I'm going to call that the candle because it's worth 500. Not sure how Mario got to where he is, but he's kind of in no man's land a little bit here. A couple of forest tiles, but really nothing to show for going through the desert there.
Yeah, I have a pretty hard time following these shuffled over worlds. Oh, okay, I see where he is now. He's just east and south of the raft location.
Yeah, man. The double whammy in New Kasuto. Dueling P-bags. And hopefully the spell is at least worth something for Ryan here.
Well, it's either going to be good for him or information. And that's information.
Well,
So he is going to have to still find the kid here. Unless fire is also reflect. I'm still not sure.
yeah, I'm not sure he's checked. Or if he checked, I missed it. And depending on how he ends up routing this, we'll find out. He might check right now. Or maybe not. Meanwhile, Mario has found Naburu here, so he's going to be picking up the spell. And it's looking like Ryan's going to brave Valley of Death here. It's an interesting play. Because it could be 4 and he doesn't have reflect. At the very least, he'll gain information.
Now, would it be possible for the kid to actually be inside of 4?
It is
See, why
100%
not?
possible. Annoying,
So if-
but possible.
So if this is a Valley of Death 4, and the kid is actually inside, that would be extremely obnoxious for these runners.
And looking like Mario's going to duck into Palace 5 here. Does not have any lives though, so I'm not sure he realizes he's out of gas. And it is Palace 4.
Ryan's deciding. Okay, he's gonna go look for the item. Or maybe just level up and then get out.
Well, 4 is really not that bad to look for the item in. I feel like it'd be worse to dig out of 5 than it would be to dig through 4. So, at the very least, he'll get information about the layout of the palace, and then when he comes back, he can just go straight to Carrick. And he missed the jump. And that went straight to the drop, the final drop room, so we know that the one in between just loops on itself. So that's one potential right exit taken out of the equation. And fortunately for Mario, he ducked out of 5 and is now on Maze Island, and we know Maze Island has the magic key, so he'll be happy to not go through 5 ferrying everywhere. And it is a heart container in 4, so the gamble not paying off for Ryan here. And I guess fire is not reflect, as previously theorized. Or he just hasn't checked it. I think Ryan's taking the time to walk out of Valley of Death because he saw that other palace to the south of the Valley of Death. And so he knows it's just going to be a quick little jaunt down there.
Well, if it's close by, this makes sense for sure. So SleepyMario has found the palace. I don't think he found either of the caves yet, though.
You know, I didn't see him because one of them was right by the palace.
Yeah, it was just north of the palace, but I think he went straight south, then east, and then north into the palace, which was the route that that Ryan took out. And there were no encounters in that direction.
And Ryan finally making it out of the Valley of Death here. He'll be headed towards what we know to be Palace 6. And he'll probably be digging the item out of there. So what locations do we have left? We have Palace 3's item, which, no, Ryan got that one. Ryan got 3, Ryan got 4. We have Palace 5, Palace 6, the water tile.
Yeah, the desert tile, Spectacle Rock.
And Spectacle Rock, yep, alright. So 4 entire locations left. And Ryan did not elect to go into Palace 6. Looks like he's going to find the desert tile first, or try to at least. And look at that.
That's convenient. Oh. He probably saw it from the Great Palace. The boots, those will help. Not what he's looking for, though.
It does give him access to the water tile. It might be there.
That's true. That is true.
And he's got a nice express path there.
Yeah. It's much better than walking on the swamp for sure.
Dig Shake might disagree. We've got some very similar colors between Palaces 3 and 6 here. Got the item room in 3 for Mario. I do believe this we know to be the 1-up, so not what he's looking for.
Although he has died a couple times on the way here, so in this situation could be useful.
And of course, when you need items the most, there's Barba.
I've seen a couple of very, very short 6s lately. But in those cases, the item wasn't needed. So 6 was just over before it even started. Hopefully for Ryan, the item isn't too hard to find. So that when he pops back in, he's not lost in here forever.
I wonder, given how fast this was, if he'll just say, screw it, I'm gonna go check the other locations and I'll come back here if I need to.
Well, it's not a bad idea. What did we say was left? Spectacle Rock and the Water Tile?
Spectacle Rock, Water Tile, and the item in 5. We'll see. It's an interesting call for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you spend all your time going through a palace and it does turn out to be just on the water tile, then you're not going to be happy. So we'll see what he does here for sure. He's thinking about it. And he's gonna do it, but from the start.
It's not a bad call by any means. I can see both sides of the coin there.
Yeah, it is pretty far out of the way too. It's right at the very far south of the eastern continent, so you don't necessarily want to walk all the way back. You know, you're already here. Might as well check it. Why not?
Nope, that's true. Well, that's a... Ryan's giving us a pretty good display of why not, hitting dead end after dead end here. So hopefully he's able to find a way to progress here. I think he's got to take this left, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I do believe this is the last option. We'll probably find another room with branching paths pretty soon here.
Meanwhile, Mario having trouble finding Rebo. Think he's on the right path finally? I'm not 100% sure. I don't recall what the correct path was. Yeah. Ryan placed the gem at 6. Whoops. Rebanak down for Mario. He'll be placing his 3rd gem.
He's got a bit of catching up to do here, but if he can find the kid quickly,
Yeah,
then that's going to help out a lot.
I'm hoping he doesn't immediately leave Maze Island, because there's the magic key on Maze Island is going to be very, very helpful for Mario.
So it looks like Ryan's found the item room here.
Oh no, this is just a mini boss. Item room is a little bit taller,
Oh,
but it could be on the next screen. You never know. He is kind of running out of palace to look through, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was right here. And it is.
oh, it is pretty. It is a bit taller. Would you look at that? So over on Mario's side, he does find the key. He's going to be happy about that.
It's Rebo giving Ryan the what for here.
There we go. Maybe. Nope, not quite. There we go. And is it the kid? It is not.
Meanwhile, Mario finding the other Maze Island item to be a pea bag. A little bit of a bummer there, but so we know we're down to Water Tile and 5 are the 2, and Spectacle Rock.
Spectacle Rock is still a maybe, yes.
Oh.
And wouldn't that be interesting? Both of the players opting not to go do Spectacle Rock earlier.
Well, it's looking like that might be where Ryan goes now, considering he up an aid on the world map here, so the world is his oyster right now. I do believe Water Tile was relatively close to the Raft Tile in the east, so that might also be where Ryan's going. I'm not sure. He's doing some deep contemplating here. And Mario's going to duck into 5. Mario's going to duck out of 5. And he's going to go back into 5. The baits.
Yeah, the will he, won't he. I can understand why you wouldn't want to go into 5. It's very, very big.
It's very big, and he's only at attack 4 as well, so might be a little rough when he does get to Goomba. Not sure what's going on Ryan's side here, so let me see if I can switch audio real quick.
I'm not too sure. Bathroom break, maybe, yeah.
There he goes.
Yeah. Probably just ran real quick to get a drink, go to the bathroom, something like that.
So it is looking like a water tile is going to be Ryan's play here. And then, if not water tile, then probably 5.
And despite picking up basically everything, it's been pretty quick. We're now 10 in.
Yep. And lo and behold, we have yet another tournament seed where required spell is blocked by the kid on the water tile.
So how about that kid location? The boots were in the desert tile?
Yep. So really, they're just readily available. Just a little bit of a journey to find them. So with Kid in hand, Ryan's gonna head probably down and clear 5, and then he'll go to Valley of Death and clear 4. And then they'll head back west and clear Great Palace.
Okay, I definitely saw Ryan cast fire that time instead of fairy. And he is the fairy, so...
That explains everything.
I finally noticed.
Yep, so we get dueling Palace 5s here.
And the big question here is Sleepy Mario also going to look for the item?
I would have to imagine he is. But then again, he hasn't found 2 of the towns. He hasn't found New or Old Kasuto yet, and he might think, oh, Reflect and Thunder are there. So, I could see either thing happening. And with so many, like, having desert and water tile still as options, you know, he might think, you know, it's not worth it. We'll see. Ryan, unfortunately, running into a dead end there. He's going to have to take an alternate path here. Sleepy Mario making his way through 5. It's a jar for his trouble. So really, the only item left in 5 is either a heart container or a magic container, or I think we're out of P-bags even, given that we saw 2 in New Kasuto. Oh, we are out of hearts. That's true. So it's got to be a magic container.
We're looking at magic containers here. It's not necessarily a bad thing. You pick it up if it's right there, but
probably not what Sleepy Mario's going to want to see.
No.
This is looking to be a pretty long 5 here. Oh man, all that for a dead end for Sleepy Mario. I think Ryan is headed the same direction, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think either player opted to go left from the start. There were a few options right off the bat. And it would be something if it's Just as simple as that.
Oftentimes it is. And you kick yourself when you figure it out. And Ryan finds the item, though I'm pretty sure SleepyMario is the one digging for it. So, funny how that works. As theorized, it is indeed a magic container.
It looked like he was just going to leave right away, but decides to check it out, and I don't think you could be too upset with another magic container.
Yep, so that means our final item on Spectacle Rock is also a magic container. And then we would have 100%. But just it would be just under.
I suppose there does have to be one more one-up doll or something, with 2 locations left and only 1 magic container.
What's the other location left?
Oh, no, never mind. He did get the item out of 4. My mistake.
Both runners just looking for Goomba, can't find squat. I think SleepyMario is going to find the item here, though. He will be disappointed to see a magic container, that's for sure.
And Ryan here might actually make it to the break point to pick up Sword 6. Not looking at great levels for the Great Palace, but every little bit helps.
Yep, and Ryan's actually able to find the item and Goomba before SleepyMario, despite entering a pretty considerable amount of time afterwards. So I think it's looking really good for Ryan right now. It's looking like Mario's actually electing to grind these Magos here. There's a real one mixed in with the drippers. And he's hit that one twice. Unfortunate. He's actually gonna up an A and try his luck again from the beginning. Where Ryan taking down Goomba without too much of a problem, and 1,000 experience will guarantee that Ryan gets attack 6. And he's looking to be in pretty good shape at this point. I'll actually be back in just a second here.
No problem. So what's left for Ryan here? He has to go back through the Valley of Death to take care of 4. And then it's on to the Great Palace for him. Meanwhile, SleepyMario does have quite a bit of catching up to do. Right, yes, he still does have to drop off the kid here. I wonder if he's going to pick up Upstab as well. I don't see why you wouldn't. Yeah, he's gonna do it. So upstab for Ryan. It's useful in the Great Palace. Sometimes good for bird nights. Occasionally you find yourself under some blocks you have to break. You have to use upstab. And he's gonna just drop off the kid and head over to Palace 4. And meanwhile, SleepyMario, I don't blame him. I'm a little lost in 5 myself, but I think this is along the right path to Gooma.
Alright, I am back.
Oh no, wait, that way was the item. Welcome back.
So is my cat.
Hello, kitty. So, if that was the item that SleepyMario was going towards and then turned back on, Gooma was around there as well somewhere. It was nearby the item anyway. Ryan just has to go through the VOD here to make it to 4. He's already searched half-ish of it, so hopefully it won't be too hard to find Karok for him.
Alright, I'm back. I'm back again, without a cat this time.
Back for real? That's a very loud cat.
Oh,
I
yes.
must-
That is his MO. He's being loud and hungry all the time.
Mine's the same way. I think it's outside right now, though, so...
Can't let
Lucky
this
for
one out. He
everyone.
just eats grass all the time and pukes everywhere. I think Mario is on the right track now. If I recall, Gooma is either on the next screen or one more and then Gooma.
Yeah, it was very close to the item, and SleepyMario did return to the item a second time. Can't blame him, though. 5 is very big, and most of the rooms look very similar.
Yeah, that was definitely not a straightforward 5 by any means. A lot of left turns. Just a little unfortunate that he got a little crisscross there. Oof. Meanwhile, Ryan finding Karok as Mario dances with Gooma here. Oh man.
I wasn't gonna say anything because I was hoping he would make it, but Sword 5 Gooma, it's not free.
We've got Karok down for Ryan, so that's all 6 gems placed. And he'll be making his way to Great Palace. He's got everything. All the spells, all the items. Missing 1 heart container. I guess he doesn't have everything. I lied to you. I'm sorry.
So it looks like he's going into Great Palace with 656. It's not ideal, but you know, it's workable.
So Mario going to take this fight a little bit on the easier side than his last attempt, given that this is his last life. But looking good so far. I jinxed him, dude. Oh, look at this bright pink. Great palace here. And immediately we have the fairy room. Ryan electing to go down, and we have another left branch, so already 2 branches. And another, so up to 3. Maybe, this could be a loop, we don't know. Mario able to take down Goomba on his 3rd attempt, thankfully. He doesn't have to run back through 5, and he'll be happy to be done with this palace. And Ryan finding a quick drop here. Given that we've seen 2 branches already, this might loop him backwards, but we don't know for sure. We'll just find out.
Quite a bit behind on Ryan's stream. I'm just gonna refresh it there.
Sure. Sorry about that.
No worries. You were talking about him getting to a drop, and he was just at the 2nd elevator, so... There we go. I think that's better.
We just entered the theater room, as we call it.
Yep, I'm back. Not sure what happened there, but...
Yep. Got SleepyMario is looking for the desert tile, so he's on the right track. We know that much. Just gotta... Unfortunately, it's way down south by where 6 is, so a little hard for him to find. Mario maybe taking a little bit of break, maybe collecting himself a little bit. So I'll go ahead and switch back over to Ryan's audio.
Oh.
Surprise!
Yeah. Ryan finds a bird knight there in the blocks. Took his life down from almost full to almost empty, just like that.
A 2nd drop for Ryan. He's gonna lure this blue Faka towards the entrance and then make his way. That way he doesn't have to deal with sword beams in the face. Does not get Buzz Thundered. And we've got a fun room. Still not sure if he's going the right way though. There's definitely been a lot of options so far. And this could all be one elaborate ruse here.
Yeah, there were branches galore earlier. It's been pretty linear for a while, but we'll see where he ends up here.
Ah, the Eon drop. Would be drop number 3 for Ryan, but he likes to walk past it. And he's back in the fairy room. So, definitely a huge loop.
Yeah, big old loop. I would have been... I guess it's... You just make a decision, you go for it here. But the fairy room was right near where all the other options were. There's a dead end.
And given that you looped essentially all the way back to start, I'm surprised you didn't take an up and A there, but even then, you still got a lot to choose from now. I hope he likes his chicken spicy.
So, meanwhile, SleepyMario's just cleaning up the towns a little bit.
Now, he might be thinking, yeah, New Kasuto, there's items here, there's 2 items, but boy, is he in for some fun. And another dead end on Ryan's side. So I believe he has to go left right here. His only option that's left.
There we go, just punch the mic, no problem. Yeah, either that or take another option closer to start. I guess that's what's left for Ryan here.
You've got another theater room. I don't think this is the same one, though. In fact, it can't be, because we would have seen dead ends otherwise. Hello, Bird Knight. SleepyMario brings up the spell tower, and lo and behold, the second pea bag of New Kasuto. It's where they manufacture pea bags, you know.
The highest P bag per capita in all of Hyrule.
Yep. And here we are. We've got Thunderbird on Ryan's side here. And given all the branches and whatnot we've seen, I wouldn't be surprised to see Dark Link right around the corner after this one. But Ryan does have to be a little careful. At a 6.56, this fight might be a little bit harder than he's used to. He does trigger the frenzy of Thunderbird here, so he's going to be extra careful not to take damage. Got maybe 6 hits left, possibly more.
And it looks like he's taking a very safe approach here at the end, and can't really blame him. No health, no magic.
Oh, the dodge. And he got him. Well played. Yep, and there's good old Dark Link.
Indeed, right behind. So looks like the Great Palace could be kind of short if you happen to take the right path, but there's lots of options there. I think most players prefer to go right first rather than left.
Absolutely, because you get those great palaces where, you know, it's one or two rooms, and all of a sudden, oh, Thunderbird. All of a sudden, oh, hey, Dark Link. And we've seen that even in the longer GPs. And there he goes. Ryin7 is your winner with a time of 1:34.17. Congratulations, Ryan.
Yeah, good game, Ryan.
And really, not a bad time for pretty much a full clear.
Yeah, we'll call that 99%.
So let's see if we can't pull him in here, and in the meantime, we'll keep following Mario here as he's finishing up his scene.
Looks like he's also going to go into Valley of Death to find Palace 4 here. He hasn't found the kid yet.
No, I do not believe he has found the desert tile yet. It is stashed down there pretty much by itself underneath Valley of Death, so you really got to be looking for it in order to find it.
Yep, it is right in the bottom right corner of the entire world. That much I do remember. Mario looking for this encounter skip, but he's not getting it.
Looking like Mario's mic is in fact on, so
Yeah, it sounds like he just turned it on. I didn't hear what he said.
oh. So I'll
It
turn...
didn't sound too happy, whatever it was.
I think he just saw Ryan finish the race. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and mute him if he's gonna be babbling on here. But we are joined by the one, the only, the winner of this race, Ryin7. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Congratulations. How'd you feel about this seed here?
Seems to be pretty common to do 90 to 100%.
So early on there, you had just about everything you needed, especially coming out of Maze Island. You had Glove, you had the Magic Key, but then you had all these spells available that were free to you. But you were still short that one. How were you feeling coming out of Maze Island? Did you think maybe this one time I won't have to dig out some kind of spell item?
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought, and that's why I kind of jumped into 4. I was like, it's going to be one of those where the item 4 is in 4. But
So what I'm curious, like your first play of the entire match was to duck into Death Mountain and find Hammer Cave on the second cave you checked, and that happens to be Glove. How are you feeling when that happened?
I was like, wow, it was going to be quick. That was really nice to find it. The first cave, and then pretty much the first or second cave I jumped into was a Hammer Cave, and I was like, wow. I was thinking Mario might have done the same thing. So
Unfortunately for him, he did not. But the way the seed was laid out, it kind of played out that he had to go in. You had to go in to get through 2 to get the raft anyway. So he didn't have it until he got blocked off, but still was able to get it within a reasonable amount of time.
yeah, raft was in 2. Yeah, I think the only thing I missed was Spectacle Rock.
Yep, there was a magic container in Spectacle Rock, and I think you grabbed literally everything else.
Yeah, the west was kind of nice. It was nice, wide open. All the palaces were right next to each other. Towns were easy to get to. The caves were real easy to access. Yeah, west was pretty nice.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a hiccup trying to get north, but that was just either take the stupid fish bridge, bubble bridge, or go through Saria. But other than that,
Yeah. Yeah, I thought just going. Sorry, it might take longer. You know, it's what 3, 4 screens, but it's red by start, so seemed to be easier, and it kind of dumped you around where the palaces were.
yeah, you had a nice little cluster of palaces there. Yeah, it's really rare to see all of them like within a couple of steps of each other like that.
I had to take a break there. I was getting frustrated because I wasn't. I mean, in my opinion, I wasn't playing very well,
I was wondering what that was. I wasn't sure if
making a lot of dumb mistakes.
what was going on there, but you seem to be doing fine from my standpoint at least. I feel like you played, reasonably good race, to full clear seed essentially outside of Spectacle Rock, and still come in at 134. I feel like is pretty remarkable actually.
I was kind of getting frustrated and started not sure where I was going, so it was kind of like, you know what, I need to use a little boy's room anyway. Let me just kind of get up and relax. And, I was casting fairy for the longest time, and I knew fire was fairy too, so I was like, oh, it's like 20 less magic points. But
Yeah, for the longest
all in
time,
all,
we weren't sure what fire was tied to. For the longest time, we thought it was reflect because you had fire sword beams, and I saw you cast. So I thought you had cast it early, and nothing happened. I was like, oh, fire's reflect. But then, much later, you used it instead of fairy, and we were like, oh, okay.
I casted that on the west during an encounter, like right after I got it, and I turned to a fairy, and I was like, oh, cool. And I totally forgot about it for pretty much till like Palace 5.
Yep, and it is looking like SleepyMario did decide to forfeit here. He never did come across the boots on Desert Tile for the kid, and he still had 2 palaces left to go in 4 and 6. So he was in a fair ways behind.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you need the kid or the boots to get the water tile for the kid.
Yeah, it's a nice little chain there, but it was all available on the overworld, so it just was in some really obscure locations for sure.
Yeah, that's right. That desert tile was kind of hidden way down south.
All right, Ryan. So you're 1-1 now, if I'm not mistaken. Who are you looking to face? Your fellow 1-1 crew.
Who's out there? I don't know.
Let's see. Well, there's still a couple of matches left to come today. We've got Vonky and Eon going on as we speak. And then later tonight, we've got Simple Dude against Angry Larry. We've got Riku Player against Dig Shake. And we've got Raikou Rider and Kool-Ain. All of those are going to be on Adegenos' channel. And then Vonky against Enchantress of Numbers is going on right now on Riku Player's channel. And looking at the standings, your fellow 1-1 folks are, let's see, we've got Jay Coper, Dark Magician, Rose City Saint, Dr. J, BGT, Link Sevens, and Double A so far.
Oh, jeez. None of those sound appealing.
Oh, this is weird. Weird how it organizes this. We've also got Buzz Thunder, Jackamus, Shiner, Zarnax, 8gen, and Kingdoll.
Oh, jeez.
You don't sound happy about any of those.
It's gonna start getting pretty tough here. I mean, it's already been tough, but it's let's start getting a little more a little harder here.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm looking forward to face any of them. Really, they're all tough competitors. I mean, I'm sure if they lost, they didn't lose by much.
Well, this is the start of your comeback. Start out 0-1. You're gonna finish it out 3-1. Come on, man.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta have a little bit of optimism. Completed my tourney goal of winning one, so let's see if we can win another one.
Yeah. well, congratulations. I'm not seeing SleepyMario. I'm not sure he's going to be joining us here. I guess I will go ahead and toss it over to Riku Player's channel, where we do have Vonky and Eon going right now. And I'll give him a host. And thank you, Insult, for joining me on commentary. I do appreciate it. Was expecting to do this one solo, but I'm more than happy that you came in.
No problem. It was fun. Congratulations again, Ryan.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I didn't even know you were there.
I talk too much. I'm sorry.
Well, thanks for restreaming, and good luck to Mario in future races. I know he's kind of new. Trying to help him a little, and he's gotten much better. But this one was a little tricky here, so.
Yep. The only way to get better is to play the game. And he's definitely doing that. So props to Mario for entering the tournament and learning the game. And he's definitely put up a good showing here. I feel like there's no shame in anything he did here. So he should look forward to his future races. And maybe he'll pull out a win in one of these.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Well, that'll wrap it up for this one. I'm going to host up Riku Player. Enjoy the match between Vonky and Enchantress of Numbers, and have a good day, folks.